What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be recapping the Winnipeg Jets versus the St. Louis Blues. Game 6 of the year for Winnipeg. They come in a perfect 5-0 against the Blues, who are 3-3, 500 on the early season. Winnipeg is the last undefeated team. The lines stay pretty much the same as they were in Pittsburgh, but Rasmus Kupari does check in on the fourth line. David Gustafsson checks out, Connor Hellebuyck back in, and Logan Stanley remains with Colin Miller. Early on in this game, it was all Blues. The Blues were taking it to the Jets. It was a really clunky first period, not a lot of room anywhere for either team, but towards the end, the Blues were really driving the play. And midway through that first period, 10-11 in, Brandon Saad actually scores his first of the season and the first of the game to open up the scoring, and that's how the first period would end, with a 1-0 Blues lead. The Jets haven't really gotten outplayed too much this season, but in that first period they absolutely did. They needed a bounce back in the second, and they got just that. They went on to the power play, which has been red hot, might I add, and Nito Niederreiter is going to tip home a Neil Pionk blast, and that's going to be his second of the year, and the Jets tied this game up 8-12 into the second period, and just like that are right back into this game. The Jets last year really didn't have a power play to help them out, so it was nice to see that Nito Niederreiter's second of the year there on the power play was able to get them back in this game, and from that point they really started to play good. They really owned the rest of this period. Colin Miller at 13:58 of the second would blast home his first as a Jet, first of the season, from Perfetti and Ehlers. That's Perfetti's second assist of the game now. And the Jets lead 2-1, and they would not be done just yet. The Jets are pressing in the O-zone, they dig it out, and there's Kyle Connor with all the time and space, picking the corner, a disgusting goal, way too much time for him, and he makes this a 3-1 game with 2:20 left in the second, and that's how the second would end. That's Cole Perfetti also getting the assist on the Kyle Connor goal. 3 assists night for Cole Perfetti. What a night so far. After a pretty rocky first period, the Jets found their game after getting that power play goal from Niederreiter. They owned the second period. Shots were 14-9 for Winnipeg. They were all over the Blues. And heading into the third, they needed to do more of that. The Blues come out, you know they were going to press, and Brandon Saad actually scores his second of the game at 5:15 into the third period. And just like that, we've got a game once again. The Blues were really pushing, and the Jets were doing a very good job defending, not letting any, super high quality chances reach the net. With under a minute left, Jordan Binnington to the bench at 6-on-5 for the Blues, and Connor Hellebuyck makes one of the most dazzling saves you're ever going to see, just sticking out the pad on Braden Shen, who's on the doorstep there. And absolute armed robbery by Connor Hellebuyck, but that's why we call him Connor Vesnabuck. That's why he gets paid the big bucks, and that's ultimately why the Winnipeg Jets won this game, as they walk away with a 3-2 win to improve to a perfect 6-0 on the year, the only perfect team in the NHL still. Now, was this a perfect game? Absolutely not. The first period was probably the worst of the season so far. The Jets got legitimately outplayed by the Blues, and I think the Jets are, a much better built team than the Blues are. But with that said, the Blues are also a much more competitive team this year, I think. I don't know if they're necessarily a playoff team yet, but they're definitely faster and definitely have more than, one or two guys on offense to worry about. They played really well tonight, played the Jets hard, but in the end, the Jets were able to prevail, got that kickstart on the power play, which still is a super huge asset for them. And you gotta love it. I don't know, 6-0, 12 points on the year. I love winning early on, stacking up those points, getting them up, because, if you slump later on in the year, you have a little bit of cushion, right? So I really like the 6-0 start. Shout out to Colin Miller for his first goal as a Jet. I don't really have any complaints tonight, aside from that first period. After that, I thought the Jets were really solid. Connor Hellebuyck did his thing, and the Jets walk away with a win. Big ol' Shining Star Award is going to go to Neil Pionk. I bet you guys didn't see that coming. Me neither, really, but him and Sandberg this year been playing lights out. I don't know. Pionk's not going to ever be the most solid guy defensively. We know that. He never really was, right? But so far this year with Sandberg, he's looked at least steady. He's going to have his blunders, he's going to have his uh-oh moments, but tonight he showed up. His offense seemingly is back as well, firing one on goal there. Nito Niederreiter later tipping that one in on the power play to tie up the game. He is more effective this year so far through 6 games than he was all that he played last year, right? I don't know exactly how many games he played last year, but just much improved, and it's something the Jets have desperately needed, because last year he was really rough. Like, he was a legitimate liability out there, and an expensive one at that. So I'm happy he's found his game. Congratulations on the award, Neil, and I hope there's many more of those in your trophy case this season. Next up, the Jets have the Kraken on Thursday night, and I'm not really, freaked out by the Kraken or anything like that. I think they're a pretty slow team. Not really too worried about them. I know they're 4-3 to start the season, but all things considered, I think the Jets can slam them. Look, the Jets are really good this year, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. They're not going to be perfect forever, but I really like the hockey that they're playing right now. I do think there is room for improvement 5-on-5 still, but really, they're doing really well. Because at the beginning of the year, I was, kind of convinced that they might be a wildcard team, might even miss the playoffs. So this 6-0 start has brought some confidence to myself. Obviously, the team is playing pretty confident right now as well. Everybody's contributing. I really like it, and I expect the Jets to go 7-0 against the Kraken on Thursday. But the Jets are still undefeated. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know down in the comments below. This is my first game recap of the year. Haven't been able to do one of these so far. October is always the busiest month of the year for me. I am exhausted and overtired, but I'm happy that it's starting to wind down now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Jets, go! Bye-bye.